Hello again. This is lesson 5 of chapter 5, and still we are talking about body organization. In this lesson, the main focus will be on pronunciation because you will notice that some of the words we have come across before, but here we introduce them again just for the sake of pronunciation. So let's look at page 86 in your books. And I think we came across this word, which is quadrants, if you remember. We came across it, but today we mention it again for the sake of pronunciation. Now, quadrants, the abdominopelvic four areas. You remember we talked about the division of the body into areas. Earlier we talked about regions, 9 regions, but here areas. We have 4 areas. That's why they are called quadrants, which means 4. Okay, so we will see the pronunciation now.
Quadrants. Quadrants.
Now, page 87, on top, as you can see, we have a number of roots, and most of these roots, actually, we came across them earlier, if you remember. Let's go through them one by one. Most of them, we have come across them. The first one, for example, anter, which is anterior, if you remember, when we talked about the planes, which means front. Dors, from dorsal, you remember. Number 4, inferior, you remember. And then we have medial, all right. Posterior, proximal, superior, ventral, vertebral. So most of these roots we came across them, and now you are familiar with them. So we will start with the first suffix at the bottom of the page, which is AC, ac. We pronounce it as ac. And the first term is iliac, ili, which means hip, and ac, you remember we talked about this earlier. It is part of the suffixes that have the same meaning, which is pertaining to. So, pertaining to the hip. Let's see the pronunciation.
Iliac. Iliac. Iliac.
Now, page 88, we have the suffix al. Again, we came across this before. And here we have a list of terms where all of them use al at the end. And of course, al means pertaining to. Let's start with these terms one by one. The first one, abdominal, and you are familiar with abdomen. So the meaning is pertaining to the abdomen. Cranial, again, crani, you remember this, which means skull, so pertaining to the skull. Dorsal, again, we came across this one, so dors means back, the meaning pertaining to the back of the body or organ. Inguinal, maybe this is new. Inguine means groin, and it means pertaining to the groin. Lateral, we came across it. Later means side, and the meaning pertaining to the side. Let's see the pronunciation of these terms.
Abdominal. Abdominal. Cranial. Cranial.
dorsal, dorsal,
inguinal, 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 lateral, lateral,